Right, so I've pressed record.
So I'm not happy that you've been on holiday and I've not.
Well, holiday. We went to South Wales.
I know you did because you Instagrammed it all over when I was just bored at home.
No, well, do you know what? We had a great time with the family, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we did while we were away, because some of it was a little bit hearty.
Mm.
Quite like it. But first of all, welcome to Word on Our Street.
Welcome everyone. We're doing all right.
I think so, and more and more people are listening, which is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really pleased about that.
But loads of different parts of the arts as well.
Well, we're covering more and more on different kinds of things, aren't we? Which is awesome. And I think one of the things that I've been pleased with is week on week some of the comments we're getting now. People are engaging with us through Facebook and through the comments on Podbean and things like that, and giving us nice references and 5-star reviews. And
yeah, there is one thing I'm not happy about, I have to say.
Okay, go on.
I keep asking the listeners to tag us in some of their artwork or anything that they're up to that's arty. We've not added anything yet. So if you are listening, do tag us in on Facebook or Instagram and let us know what you're up to using art.
I suppose so. Yeah.
You know.
I like it when they talk to us and send me questions and things.
Oh, yeah, we had loads of emails and really nice feedback.
And the Insta Twitter's doing well.
Yeah, it is. Twitter's building, isn't it?
It is. So, and I don't know, we're not going to say what, but we've got something quite exciting coming up in the next few weeks, haven't we?
We have. Extremely exciting, actually.
I mean, we've gone from, and some of the people who've got in touch and said they're going to help us out, I'm absolutely stunned by. It's
well, everyone's just stuck at the moment, aren't they? It doesn't matter what level you are with COVID. So I feel like the arts have come together in a way.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to an interview that we're going to do next week. Just a teaser.
Just a teaser, and we've got 2 family members in it.
Yeah, and some might be somebody that people actually know before we talk about them on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're on MMTV on the 5th of September as well.
I'm dead excited for that.
Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah. I love Ant and Neck.
I think that's going to be really good.
I do.
I think it'll be really good. And I think you'll get to do some poetry. I'll get to do a little bit of magic, and then we'll be able to talk about the podcast as well.
Cool.
So that's something a little bit special.
So go on, make me jealous about your holiday.
Well, okay. Well,
get it over and done with.
Well, we did the holiday thing, and on the way back, I've always wanted to go to a place called Hye on Wye, which is where they have the Hye Literary Festival every year. Because you know me and my books, and I like that.
I've always wanted to go there.
And they always call it the village of books. I mean, there's more bookshops within that village than anywhere else in the world.
There is. Well, you tagged the poetry shop, was it?
Yeah, there was a bookshop just that sold poetry books.
I need to go.
And the thing is, you could lose yourself so easily. It's one of those places where I mean, we had the kids with us.
Did you not try and lose the kids?
Well, we tried, but at their age, you couldn't really do it. And also, it wasn't about beasting the kids.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get them interested. As long as they knew they could buy a book, that was okay. And but I could have stayed in some of those books for hours and hours. And you're expecting the books to jump off the shelf and say, "Read me, read me."
I don't know what you were drinking there or doing there, Carl, but we were not in Amsterdam, were you?
No. But these literally millions of books, and then some of these bookstores, you go in and they look quite small, but they just keep going and going back, and then you find some stairs, and you go up the stairs, and there's literally books up the stairs, and as you're going up, and it's like they're like little mazes, but there's books on every wall.
That sounds awesome.
And you can just go, oh, that's that subject. And
so, as a family, was there something for all of the different ages there?
In Hye, I believe so. Yeah. If you're interested in
obviously in books. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the places we found, and I did put a picture of this on Instagram, was one of the shops only sold murder mystery type books.
Cool.
And it was all the Agatha Christie's and the Sherlock Holmes things, and they had some of the very old versions, because a lot of them are second-hand books.
Yeah. So you loved it in there, I take it.
Absolutely. Oh, I just loved it. And on the floor of what made me smile, and I did put a picture of this on, they had like as if a dead body had been in the shop, and they had like an outline around it.
Wait, oh,
And
did you get a picture of that?
Yeah. So thanks for looking. It's on
Well, I was getting too jealous that you'd been away, and I thought, sat that.
So anyway, I thought, you know what? I'm going to find an old, because there's something about secondhand books. I don't know if you find this. A secondhand book. I actually probably buy more secondhand books than I do new books.
Because you're a bit tight, or
yeah. But they have a certain feel and a certain sort of smell to them.
They definitely do. They have stains on them. They have coffee stains, baby sick.
This is the one. We are actually filming doing this. I don't know how much of this will go out, but yeah. And so there was one book that I read at school. Now, if you remember a few months ago or a few episodes ago, we talked about Lord of the Flies.
We did, yeah. Well, you did a lot. I couldn't get a word in. Yeah.
Fair enough. And the thing about Lord of the Flies, which is I think is interesting, is the fact that a lot of people did come back to us and said, "Oh yeah, I read that at school, and it brought back some memories." I think
no, it did.
That again.
It had a lot of traction.
And we did get a lot of interaction about that. And one of the other books I read at school, which I wanted to read again, and I just didn't get around to it, is Animal Farm.
You've said this, yeah, because that you were like, did you read that at school, Jen? Because you went to Moorside.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Was not on the syllabus then, kid.
So it's a George Orwell, Animal Farm, one of the most famous books in the world. What I liked about it's quite short.
Right. So, is that why you like me? Well, you pretend to for the hours that we record.
If you could see my face.
Well,
you can.
Yeah, you can't see mine today. I'm looking great today if you watch the video because you can't see my face.
We have hidden Jen behind the microphone. So anyway, I went in one of the shops. Said, "Have you got a copy of Animal Farm?" And he just looked at me and said, "Oh, that one again." And he said, "I think I have." And he went and had a little rummage. And he said, I know where one is, but it's filed wrong. Now, there's a book with thousands and thousands of books. How does he know the one book that's filed wrong?
Yeah.
So he came out with this. And as it was the book cover of the one I think that I read at school.
Oh, wow.
Whereas this has been printed so many times. So anyway, I had a look. It's 50 years old. So it was a 50-year-old book. It was 20 pence when it was new.
And what was it? What did you get it for?
And it cost me £3.50.
Right.
And I know this isn't the exciting part of the story at all.
Good.
So, so anyway, I've read it. I've read it again.
So
I read it.
No, that's quite interesting. So first of all, for any listeners, what's Animal Farm about if they didn't know?
Well, Animal Farm is about a farm that is run by a farmer who doesn't treat his animals very well, or the animals don't think so.
Okay.
So they decide to overthrow the farmer and run the farm themselves.
Cool.
And they make up their own rules, and everybody's equal, and so it's all animals are equal. And there's 7 commandments and that they have to run by. And basically, I don't think I'm giving much away because everyone knows a few of the quotes from this. Is it as they run the farm, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Right.
And it's quite interesting how.
So they're not all equal, are they?
No, they're not at all. But again, I think most people know this. This is a parallel story to the Russian Revolution. And so you can actually transfer a lot of the animals to real life characters from the Russian Revolution. And reading it as an adult, I think I've read it in a completely different way.
So that's dead interesting. Did you get the grasp of what the kind of narrative was as a kid?
I think I did. I think I still did because we had that explained to us. It was part of learning about that book.
Yorkshire Notes.
And knowing it. Yeah. But what I would say is reading it now.
Yeah.
Completely different kettle of fish.
Why? Go on.
Because I didn't have to read the thing. I didn't have to separate the thing in my head. It wasn't like we read the book and then we had it explained to us and you had to put the two things together. I read it. I'm also I would say I'm a better, I don't want to say better reader. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it. I think possibly we read this reluctantly at school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I was reading this because I wanted to read it.
We talked about that with one of our past future guests, actually, we've just recorded.
Yeah, and so I think that I was lucky that like I don't know what took my fancy again to it. Do you know what? I should read that. Same as Lord of the Flies. It's one of them. Maybe I didn't appreciate it when I was younger.
Do you think now, as an adult, well, I say that, in very cloudy terms because you're not really an adult, are you?
No, pretend adult.
Yeah. Do you think that the writing is actually a lot cleverer than you would have understood as a child?
Yeah, what I found really interesting is I found it really easy to read. It wasn't it's not like going trying reading War and Peace or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not only because it's a short book that I read it quickly. It was because it's so well written. It flows.
Right.
And the story flows, and you want to find out what happens next. And you've got some empathy for the characters, and actually when some of the bad things are happening, you do feel bad for those animals, and it's so I'd highly recommend, if you read this at school, get a copy, read it again. It
is interesting. I mean, was it wasted on you at school, let's be honest?
I think a lot of things are wasted on us at school, aren't they? I think we talked in another interview recently about
youth is wasted on the young, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think also we mentioned that things like classical music, you resist listening to things like that when you're at school.
Yeah.
Yet when you get a little bit older, you start to like something that you resisted a lot of.
A bit like Aldi.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong there.
No, not at all.
Aldi comes with necessity.
Absolutely no. That is that's cool. I would like to know if people have done that or with any other books as well, but particularly Animal Farm. I've not read it.
Have you not?
No, it wasn't at school, and obviously I've heard of it, but I've never picked it up, I'll be honest with you.
I think you would read it very, very quickly, and I think you'd get exactly what I was saying.
Right, cool.
I'd recommend it as a read.
It's an interesting front cover, isn't it?
It is.
I'll put a picture of that on.
The front cover is a little bit weird because it's not really relevant to the story, and it does tell you. It says the cover shows a detail from the tilled field by Joan Myro. And you think, well, what have you used that for then? So it's a
striking cover.
I mean, the full name of Animal Farm is Animal Farm: A Fairy Story.
Right. Okay. I did not know that.
Which it doesn't say on there, and it is just that. It's because all the animals can talk.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give away the ending, but even right up to the end, you've sort of got this empathy for the animals, where
right.
you've seen, you feel so sorry for them, and let's say I'd go as far as to saying
how many eyebrows?
It's 5.
Really?
It's just a 5.
Oh, wow.
No,
okay.
I didn't even have to hesitate.
Right, so if you're listening now and you've read Animal Farm or you're going to, let us know your eyebrow rating.
Yeah, I can't see any reason why anybody would. And I think if you were, you'd be in a bit book snooty.
Okay.
Because it is easy to read. It's so well written. And the story is brilliant. And it's so clever.
Cool.
How it was done. I know there's lots of stories of it's not accurate and things like that, but to me, even just as a standalone story, it's a 5 eyebrows.
Well, that has made my eyebrows raise because I don't think I've heard you give a 5 yet.
Have you not?
I don't think so.
I'm
a bit stingy with your eyebrows. You pluck them very thin.
Thanks for that.
No worries. So what else have you been up to?
So do you know what? It's art-wise not a lot, but what I did do, I had to listen to an interview that you did recently.
Okay. Yes.
And I was quite impressed because, as the same as a few weeks ago, we had Anna Swan on, didn't we?
Oh, how lovely is she?
She's very lovely, and she's been friend of the show now. She's always liking things and mentioning us to other people.
And I keep seeing her on the advert now.
Yeah.
You know.
Now I did that interview on my own, didn't I?
You did. Yeah.
So you threw your toys out the pram and said, I want to do one of my own.
Did I?
No.
Oh, I didn't. Carl was quite funny. He makes things up. You should write a book yourself. It'd be great.
I do just write. I just make things up.
Yeah.
And I thought it was right that you should be allowed.
Be allowed. Oh my God, people. I just need to point out that I'm at the time of my cycle. Well, that's not funny.
Too much information.
I don't care.
I think everyone in this house is syncing up. Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah, it's all right. It's just gonna be. That was me punching him. Yeah.
Are these?
Yes, I've done one on my own. Let's get to the point.
Can I ask you what was that noise?
It's the chair.
Oh, okay. It sounded like something else.
You open your mouth. That's what it was.
Obviously, we can't get together all the time,
No.
and it makes sense that there's certain interviews that we're going to be doing separately.
Yeah.
I think they're better. I like them when we do them together because we have a lot of banter.
I do, and I was gutted I couldn't interview Anna, but it was just the times and everything.
And
it's Boris Johnson's fault.
And you have been to interview one of your poet friends,
Dominic Berry,
but not just and no relation, no.
No, not at all. I've done a family tree and I looked.
No, so he's no relation.
He's fantastic.
Just both Berries, and I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this interview.
Oh, that's good to know. But Dom, I've only met him once on the circuit. He is like so inspiring. He's a poet, children's poet, and you just have to listen to the interview, really, won't you?
Should we do the interview?
Give it a little press.
Should we put it on now?
Yeah.
Here we go.